A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. On the first day of the week, 2 of the disciples were going to a village called Emmaus, about 11 kilometers from Jerusalem, and talking with each other about all these things that had happened. While they were talking and discussing, Jesus himself came near and went with them, but their eyes were kept from recognizing him. And he said to them, "What are you discussing with each other while you walk along?" They stood still, looking sad. Then one of them, whose name was Cleopas, answered him, "Are you the only stranger in Jerusalem who does not know the things that have taken place there in these days?" He asked them, "What things?" They replied, "The things about Jesus of Nazareth, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how our chief priests and leaders handed him over to be condemned to death and crucified. But we had hoped that he was the one to redeem Israel. Yes, and besides all this, it is now the 3rd day since these things took place. Moreover, some women of our group astounded us. They were at the tomb early this morning, and when they did not find his body there, they came back and told us that they had indeed seen a vision of angels who said that he was alive. Some of those who were with us went to the tomb and found it just as the woman had said, but they did not see him." Then he said to them, "Oh, how foolish you are, and how slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have declared. Was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and then enter into his glory?" Then beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them the things about himself in all the scriptures. As they came near the village to which they were going, he walked ahead as if he was going on. But they urged him strongly, saying, "Stay with us, because it is almost evening, and the day is now nearly over." So he went in to stay with them. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. They said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he was talking to us on the road, while he was opening the scriptures to us?" That same hour they got up and returned to Jerusalem, and they found the 11 and their companions gathered together. These were saying, "The Lord has risen indeed, and he has appeared to Simon." Then they told what had happened on the road, and how he had been made known to them in the breaking of the bread. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Brothers and sisters, the passage of the story of Emmaus, one of the richest texts in the Bible. You can make a whole series of conferences taking each sentence piece by piece. But what is most important to us who want to live out this time of Easter, who want to live out this 3rd Sunday in the time of Easter? Brothers and sisters, the first thing, and this is quite curious, a gift from God, you might say. Till this day, we don't know archaeologically where Emmaus was exactly. And that has a certain symbolism to it, because Emmaus could be the destination of any of our roads. And therefore the road to Emmaus is each one of our roads, the road of every Christian. And brothers and sisters, our road to Emmaus is always a road in which we are leaving God behind. He let us down somehow, just like these 2 disciples were let down because they had thought that he would be the one, but according to their terms. And notice that in that moment, in that tragedy of them leaving the holy city for a village, for a place that isn't structured, Jesus starts walking with them. And similarly in our lives, when we are leaving God, when we are walking towards sin, let us know that God is still with us. He walks with us. He wants to open our hearts, open our minds. Notice also that the Lord is patient with us. They show how closed their hearts were, how closed their minds were, because to God himself, they say, you're the only one that doesn't know what happened. And how often we do that. Lord, you are the only one that doesn't know what's going on in my life. And Jesus listens. But when they do give him a chance, when we give God a chance, he starts showing us where he is present, why things are the way they are. And then our hearts begin to burn. And we can recognize him. In him feeding us. In him giving himself to us. Brothers and sisters, as we try to recognize where we are on our road to Emmaus, let us also ask ourselves, why are we sad? And what in our life makes us sad? And without blaming others, that it's my mom, my dad, that it's my husband, my wife, the sadness is always within. And God is asking us, why are you sad? Because only when we name our sadness can the Lord explain it to us and re-give us joy. Because God doesn't want us to be sad. May this third Sunday in the time of Easter bring us closer to God. May we all, with Christ, make a U-turn and return like the disciples did, back to Jerusalem to say, he is risen, he is in my life, and I trust in him. Have a blessed Sunday, and God bless.